as we jump into our first award breakdown, and that is the 77th Annual Tony Awards. We have been pretty much on the money, always covering the next stuff that's been up, because the Tony Awards will either become, they'll cover plays, musicals that will eventually become big movies. We got Wicked coming out later this year. Or you have a lot of stuff like Doubt that has now become Broadway plays. The Outsiders, which was a book to movie, now to an award-winning play. I'll let you break it down.
Some of this stuff tours eventually. So like even if you're not able to come to New York, a lot of it will eventually come to you.
You and I love movies. We love music. We love video games too, as Rebecca has now dropped the film and said, all media. But the Tony Awards covers what I have to say is the most profound, just honestly the epitome of the performing arts. You are doing music live. You are doing acting live. And when you're on set, you are getting a fraction of what this is, because you can edit it. You can do another take. This is day in, day out. These people are living in the theater for that specific reason, to give you some of the best art that's out there. I love Broadway. Yeah. And I love a lot of the stuff that I got to see here, even though I haven't had the chance to see them. You have. Yeah. Let me know. Break down the winners. Break down some of the new stuff you've seen.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely curious to see your impressions just from like the little bits that you've got to see, and if there's any shows that stood out to you as stuff that like you really want to see now. But I think, that when we're talking about the big winners, the big categories, the winners in musical was The Outsiders, which you mentioned earlier. The winner in the Best Musical Revival category was Merrily We Roll Along, which we mentioned earlier. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago when I saw it. And the winner in Best Play was Stereophonic. So a couple
Bro, did you see this?
What are you talking about, Stereophonic? I got tickets in August, so I'm really excited. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I am hyped on it. This is the one that I think. This is the one that I think I've heard the best like word of mouth on. The buzz on this is really good. It has music composed by Will Butler from the band Arcade Fire, and it also is sort of like a loose interpretation of Fleetwood Mac recording Rumors, which if you know anything about that was like one of the most interesting and tumultuous behind the scenes of an album, just in terms of the like incestuous nature going on in the band and stuff. It's just like a really fascinating canvas. Like if you were what was that show? Even Daisy Jones and the Edgar Daisy Jones and the Six.
They're just going to be making content out of that band for life.
Yeah. But they got a chance to actually perform, because even though this competed in Best Play, there are some original songs in it because they are playing a rock band. And normally the plays don't get a chance to have a performance during the Tonys. They made an exception because this one is such a sensation.
It was good. I was looking at them, and the guy who won the award, he's right there in the yellow. I was recognizing him from something, and I'm like, where is he? I know he's done TV or movie. Test Pattern. He's the boyfriend from that movie who keeps pushing her to go to the doctor. And I'm like, what? He wins the award, gives a great speech, had a really nice, like, very cozy jacket on. But I'm zooming in on this girl, and I'm like, where are you from, bro? She's doing the performance, and I'm like, I know I've also seen you in something. Succession. She's Jeremy's assistant.
She's Kendall's assistant. Oh, so they're both on Broadway right now then.
Yeah. We're going to get to him, but this was the one where I was like, nah, the Tonys felt like an advertisement for you to go buy tickets to see this play.
Yeah.
It broke the record, 13 nominations. You and I know Oscars, I think, are at the 14 mark right now, but 13 nominations is the record. It beat Slave Play. I always forget. Damn. That that thing really shook things up, but it had the most wins, I think, of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Most noms, and I think definitely made the biggest splash. What else did you have?
That was as we mentioned, the winner in Best Play. The winner in Best Musical Revival that we talked about was Merrily We Roll Along, which, I was very happy to see it win because it's such a fantastic production of it, the way that it's directed, the revisions they've done to the book, but most notably the cast. Like, it's got this really incredible trio at its center, and two of the three ended up bringing home awards. Daniel Radcliffe. I actually don't know which category she. Lindsay Mendez, she lost to Keisha Lewis Evans, who was the lead of Hell's Kitchen, which is the Alicia Keys musical.
Yeah. We'll get to that one. That makes sense, though.
But
let's talk about
Lindsay
the winners,
Mendez
though, for sure.
Lindsay Mendez was incredible. Let's start with Daniel Radcliffe, who won his first Tony. Just so incredible. I mean, I think there's been this like outpouring of love for him because so many of people in our generation have grown up with him, and
He's a legend. He came
hear
out
these
the other end.
Yeah, right. We all hear these cautionary tales of like the horrors of child stardom, and we see, the actors who've gone on to like not live what we assume are happy lives after childhood stardom. And to see this guy who seems so genuine, so down to earth, so just real and sweet and good and kind, and
Great speech.
It's just. Yeah, it's just so exciting, and he's so incredible in Merrily We Roll Along. I think it's also just really great because Radcliffe has challenged himself so much as an actor post Harry Potter, right? Like he's been on Broadway 5 times now. He attaches himself to all these really interesting indie movies from mostly unknown directors. Like, would we have the Daniels without Daniel Radcliffe right now? And his work in Swiss Army Man. So I think this, in a lot of ways, this feels like a crowning moment for him where he's no longer like just Harry Potter. He's Daniel Radcliffe. And I don't know, that makes me really happy for him.
When he went up to get it, I liked the announcement bit that he had where the person had mentioned that Broadway was the one place where he could truly be an artist and not just Harry Potter. And I agree, like I was saying, not just in the way that you get to perform on stage, it adds an extra level to it, but he really hones in on his craft. I would love to see this play, but I think you got to see the other one that I did, the Fraction of a Truth or whatever it was with Bobby Cannavale.
The Lifespan of a Fact.
He blew me away in that thing, dude. I thought he was incredible, and that's when I knew. I'm like, damn, he's next up. I was so happy for him.
Yeah, and speaking of your desire to see Merrily We Roll Along before we
Is he
move
touring?
On, he's not touring. However, we did get news that Merrily is being filmed by the same company that filmed Hamilton.
That's good. I like that. Okay.
So they're filming it for posterity, and when you film it in this way, there is sort of a promise that it'll get some kind of release, whether that's theatrical or just on streaming. So you will get a chance to see this trio in this production, even if it isn't in person.
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going, I believe, for another month or 2 on Broadway. Supposedly the ticket prices got jacked up, so caution there. But it's a good time. I mean, please make it out, dude.
Damn.
It's worth it.
I know Appropriate. That was the other one I wanted to see. I know that one ends June 30th. We'll get to it. I do want to comment on this, on the recording bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
That with that one being recorded, I kept looking at the nominees, when they would cut to little segments, and I'm like, oh, this is a recording. Like, I don't care if it's like a regular camcorder. You do have shots of this. You have shots of Appropriate. You have shots of Hell's Kitchen. All of these different ones right there. And then they cut to the Jeremy one.
My boy.
It's just stills. No cameras allowed.
No cameras allowed in a Jeremy Strong play.
Funny.
I don't know if I even told you that because I got the chance to be on stage during Enemy of the People. They specifically asked Caitlin whether or not her shirt was a Succession shirt. I think like he's put a rule like I can't be distracted by Succession merch during my performance.
What was she wearing?
It was a South by shirt, but it I guess they could have asked somebody else to be on stage.
That's crazy.
You
look too much like one of the Roy. You can't. Out of it. That's wow. All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Staying with these guys though.
With Merrily, yeah.
So happy he won. But dude, I did not realize this was his like DiCaprio win. That Groff has been that royalty on Broadway that just never got the Tony.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like at least especially for like this younger generation, kind of a Broadway king. He emerged in Spring Awakening as this real force, and
really good doc on HBO, by the way. Watch it. Very good doc about it.
And like theater's a bit different than film in that for most people they're not making a new show every year, and especially a guy like Groff who's gone off and done Mindhunters and gone off and done Frozen. Like it's not like he's he's been on Broadway that often, but when he is, it is so memorable, whether it is that Spring Awakening performance, whether it is the iconic performance in Hamilton as King George.
The King.
And here it's just he got his opportunity to lead a show in a way that like accesses the full range of his talents. And I mean, I don't know if it feels like, I saw the DiCaprio comparison too, and in some ways it's right, because it's kind of the guy that everybody's wanted to see take the stage. I don't know if he's like toiled quite as long as DiCaprio did, but it is like this really awesome moment for people who, like me, who were introduced to him like 15 years ago at this point and thought he was such an incredible talent.
But it's like dog years. A film's a film.
Yes.
And it gets to live on. But like when you, like you say, you don't just make a little movie, you dedicate yourself to the show. So
exactly. Yeah. So
great speech. I know it was like what the last
fantastic
performance
speech.
Incredible stuff. So
yeah, and I don't know if you've seen any of the clips going around on social, but there's a really fun moment where in Merrily We Roll Along, his character wins a Tony Award. So there have been spontaneous standing ovations during the show when his character gets that Tony, and I just would highly, highly recommend checking the clips out on social if you get the chance. It's really powerful and awesome to see.
Is it fair to
Do
say
you like their performance?
Yeah, it was great, and that's why maybe a hot take, but I don't think it's hot. I think she's the best one out of 3.
She is kind of incredible in the role.
Yeah, I'm not saying a mile, but like a kilometer.
Yeah, I mean, she brings so much character and just nuance to it. You know, there's a moment actually at the end of their performance where they all kind of harmonize. And in interviews, they've talked about how Jonathan, who, you know, a king of Broadway, Jonathan looks at her to make sure his pitch is right. And she sort of signals with her eyes if you should go up or down. Like she's on it. She's incredible. Like she is incredible. She's done Wicked. Like she's a Broadway legend in her own right.
Beautiful stuff. I always recommend 21 Chump Street. I think you still catch it on YouTube. What's his name?
There we go.
In the Heights is in there. It's good. It's decent. All right. What other stuff in the Tonys do we got?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk briefly at least about Jeremy Strong winning the Tony for Enemy of the People. I thought he also had a really... I think that was the only one that Enemy of the People won. Yeah, it got a couple other nominations, but he is really, really incredible in the show. And I think it's just this really cool moment where we're seeing an actor who has been around for a little while and has done a lot of character work just really ascend. You know, he's got his Emmy, he's got his Tony, he's halfway to that EGOT now. No reason to think he'll stop here. Oscar and Grammy.
You're gonna have to read an audiobook. No, but that's a good one.
What about L to the OG? Maybe he finally puts out that full album.
That's a Razzie, bro.
Yeah. But speaking of popular film and TV actors who are now Tony Award winners, you want to talk about Sarah Paulson Inappropriate?
Bro, I thought she had already won one.
Yeah, I mean, she feels like she should have, right?
Yeah. Well, really quick, though. I did not know Jeremy Strong was a Steppenwolf alum.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense in a way, doesn't it? Like his dedication to the...
It made me want to go watch another Steppenwolf play, whatever it is. But yeah,
I like that he... I like that he also had a shout out to the ushers in front of house staff. Like it was good. Especially for that show, it's really vital.
What they have to deal with.
Sarah Paulson. Yeah. So Sarah Paulson leads the show Appropriate, which thankfully I have a ticket for next week.
This was my most anticipated one, to be honest. Even over Merrily and everything, this is the one where I feel the story is what I want to see on stage.
Yeah, it's got like what seems like a really interesting story of sort of like family secrets becoming revealed. Like reminds me just on description alone of August Osage County, which is one of my favorite Broadway plays.
That's what it was. Yeah, there was something.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But the word is that this play is incredible. It was the winner of Best Revival of a Play, which beat out An Enemy of the People for that category. And she took home Best Actress as well, which was a really stacked category. I don't know if you have the nominees in front of you. But among the people she beat out, I believe, was Rachel McAdams, who I just saw in Mary Jane. And Rachel McAdams is really, really incredible in this play where she plays a mother of a child with cerebral palsy, and it's just so like lived in and real. Like she's got that warmth that Rachel just exudes in films like what was the Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, where she just recently was playing the mother. Yeah, like that. Take that and triple it in terms of the performance in Mary Jane. Like it's just a really, really wonderful performance in a really like touching, beautiful play written by a woman who dealt with similar issues with her daughter. So it just has all these like little details of like the difficulties of that care and the existential nature that you go through in a situation like that. I found the play to be really, really powerful.
Nice.
And yet it did not win over Stereophonic.
Nothing.
She did not win over Sarah Paulson.
I may be able to see one.
They actually, if we circle back to Stereophonic for a second, I believe they extended it through the end of the year. So at least for that one, you might have some chance, some time.
Oh, Stereophonic looks crazy, dude. I want to see that one so bad.
Yeah, all right. It's really, really good.
Other winners, other nominees that you would shout out that may have not gotten something, but maybe should have.
Do we want to talk about some of the other performances? The Eddie Redmayne MC in Cabaret kind of lit social media aflame a little bit. I don't know if you had any thoughts on his performance there.
Luckily, I was warned. So I knew that the moment this image was coming out, that it was going to be funky. It was going to be a little weird. Would you go to this experience?
I've been on the fence about it. Like there's a lottery entry website where you can like enter to win cheap tickets. And I'm even on the fence about entering the lottery for Cabaret.
You don't even know about the free tickets?
Yeah, I'm not even so...
The breakdown that they did was that they it's in the August Wilson Theater. They built it from like scratch. They said as soon as you enter, you're like in a speakeasy cabaret environment.
Supposedly the staging of it is really interesting. Like the play is sort of called like Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, and so they make the theater like the Kit Kat Club, and it sounds intriguing for sure. I feel like maybe the experience of like the whole spectacle of it would be a little bit better than it was on the stage, where it felt a bit awkward and Eddie Redmayne's singing voice felt a little bit Kermity.
It's always felt Kermity. My two things would be, one, I knew I had recognized her. She's what's her name from Glow. Took me a minute, but I was like, I know
Gail Rankin, who's also in Cabaret. Yes.
So a lot of different TV, movie, Broadway interplay there, but to me, it's a show that does something that I do not like. I want to go see you perform. I don't want to be a part of the performance.
Yes. It seems like there's some heavy audience interaction, and I don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Very eccentric. But look, I did think it was interesting. The choreography was good. Weird. Yeah, sure. Yeah. It was interesting. Like he was like tapping around, going through them and stuff.
I feel like it would be
seems like he's all in.
Well-directed musical. I'm not so sure about those performances, but maybe it was an off night.
Who else?
The Illinois performance, which featured that choreography from Justin Peck, who
Which one, right?
Won the award also for best choreography, and who if you're a movie fan, you're familiar with his work in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. This is another one that I have tickets for later, and it made me very excited for it. I mean, I think it just looks beautifully rendered. I don't know.
Let me know. I missed this one when it was here in Illinois, but I know people are now going to keep saying Illinois because that's technically how you say this play. And
R.I.P. Going to deal with that annoyance.
Yeah.
I mean, not sure how much else stood out. I don't know if you had any thoughts on Suffs or The Outsiders.
Yeah, let's do Outsiders first because it was Rachel. What's her name? Angelina Jolie, producer on it. Yeah. She got to announce it. I know it won the big award as well. I thought the performance was pretty interesting. They all do that thing where when they walk out, they stare at the camera. This one had the hardest stare at the camera. The guy just came up, just posted up on it. They had rain coming down, which I think it was one of the last performances because I felt that stage, I don't care what ShamWow they put at the bottom, it was going to be soaking wet. This one intrigued me. I did not have this on my radar, but I really like the book. I like the book more than the movie, and this felt like it would probably be an even better adaptation.
Yeah,
as
that's
much
the
as the other
thing,
one.
right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of the movie. We'll talk a little bit about the movie when we get into some Tribeca stuff, but it just wasn't one that stood out for me because there's a lot of movies that, as you were mentioning earlier, make their way to the Broadway stage at some point in an adaptation, and this just seemed like sometimes it feels like a real like a cash in, like they're just trying to play off of your nostalgia for it, but. You know, that's probably not the case for a movie for a musical that won the Tony for Best Musical, right? The direction behind it seems really incredible. You were mentioning all the set design elements and the performances. Yeah, so I'm sure that would be pretty incredible to see live.
The one that won Best Lyrics, which interestingly enough, she went up to go get the award and then she performed it like literally 30 minutes later. Suffs about the suffragette movement had a politician go up and announce it as well. You got tickets for this one?
Not yet.
Not enough.
Yeah,
not enough
I don't. I've been seeing a lot. Maybe if I could get a lottery ticket for this one, I don't know.
Have you heard good things? Have you just heard like it's important?
Well, I mean, it got a lot of nominations, so I actually don't know anybody who's seen it yet. But
okay, I thought she was.
There's got to be some quality to it. Yeah,
when she talked
for
about
sure.
It, she could be an auctioneer because she talks so fast. Hell's Kitchen. This was, I think, another really big one in the way that they pushed it, in the way that they had a massive performance for it. Like you said,
Empire State of Mind with Jay-Z.
We're going to get to that, sir. We're going to get to that. You got tickets for this one? What's the buzz on this? To me, not to like pin it in a box, but it's like, oh, gotcha. So In the Heights did well. Got it.
Yeah, and also like the Alicia Keys of it all. Like, I guess I sometimes
it was
worry
one
with
song.
No, yeah, like it's a bit of like a jukebox musical in that sense, and
Damn.
I don't know. I'm a bit hit or miss when it comes to the jukebox musical style. I prefer like an original Broadway music, but I don't know. I mean, the performance was good.
Yeah, her performance was good. Again, you had brought up everybody else who was nominated. I don't know if you had another preference or someone you were hoping to see, but she seemed pretty good in the show. The set design seemed pretty decent. I think somebody else won for this as well, if I'm not mistaken, but it was the Alicia Keys Jay-Z moment. I'm going to let you talk before I say what I got to say. But she came out to perform with them, right?
Without Lil Mama.
Well, okay, why would Lil Mama be at the Tonys? Where did this come from? Why would this have ever been a thing?
I don't know if everybody's just relying on one moment from years ago.
And then she decided to go to a secret stage to go perform with Jay-Z. Thoughts?
I mean, I think that generally speaking, I thought there were some clunky elements to the broadcast itself, and you can definitely see it in moments like this.
Yeah. She is on stage and then leaves. So as you can see here, she really is expecting us all to believe that I'm wearing the same thing. So if I rush out and hop into another thing, like you think we're stupid, bro? This man wasn't in the building. This man wasn't there on the damn day. This man pre-recorded this and sent it in. I am convinced as ever. This is the corniest thing I've ever seen. They said they were rolling out another song. I think this man knows that Empire State of Mind is like the new version of New York, New York. In that it's being played everywhere. He's getting his coin money from any person who plays it. Like you said, it's supposed to be a jukebox musical with her songs. Takes place in Hell's Kitchen. So they're obviously using Empire State of Mind as well. They're gearing up for whatever the next song that they're collabing with, for whatever it's going to be. And this felt like more marketing for it. I have no idea why he was there, but I thought it was the cheapest thing. It's like this man, Alina said, is that he needed the escape route. He could not be in the building. It's so pointless. Why are you going to perform but not perform?
Especially for the Tony Awards, right? Which are about live theatrical performances.
Pre-recorded. I thought it was lame.
Feels
I'm
real
sorry.
corny.
It was really corny, dude. Like they're all like, "Oh my gosh, Jay-Z's on the screen." Yeah, he's on my screen too. How special was that? I like how someone had said, "Is this the Grammys or is this the Tonys?" I thought it was lame, dude. I thought it was
Yeah.
very lame. Be there.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt like it was at the wrong award show.
I swear. I'm gonna rewatch it just to see what she forgot to put on for the for the continuity. Let me rush off the stage while we press play. Nah, I thought that was lame. What else? I saw there's a Great Gatsby award. I think it was for costumes.
Yeah, it won costumes, and it wasn't nominated for any other award, which is an interesting title to have.
Yeah. The Boys. I don't know if you're seeing that one from the Book of Mormon.
Oh, Gutenberg with Andrew Reynolds and Josh Gad. No, unfortunately that one closed and did not get a chance to see it. That's the thing that's unfortunate is a lot of these plays and musicals are closed by the time that the Tonys roll around. Like I would have loved to have seen Amy Ryan and Liev Schreiberg in Doubt, but it's gone.
Hell yeah. That's another one that didn't get any awards and that looked fire.
Yeah. Another one that didn't get any awards that I got to see recently was Uncle Vanya, which is the Russian existentialist drama, which intriguingly stars Steve Carell as Uncle Vanya. Not the person that I would imagine in that role, but I actually thought it was pretty solid. You know, like he kind of brings the character to him. It's a lot funnier than I think most renditions of this play.
Wait, so you saw it with Steve Carell and not Harper? I thought Harper was.
William Jackson Harper is in it as well. He plays the doctor. And
they're both in it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and he got nominated for it. And in fact, I'd say he is the best part of it. He is really, really incredible in this play. Just brings so much nuance to this character. He kind of has this commanding presence on stage. Like he's a little bit hard to predict in a way that makes you want to like watch his next move. Okay. I thought he was excellent. And this is a play that had a stacked cast. You're bringing up a picture of Steve Carell with Alison Pill, who I thought was also really good in it. You have Alfred Molina, Jane Houdyshell, Anika Noni Rose as well. Wow. Like this is an incredible cast. But yet it was William Jackson Harper who just blew me away in this production.
That's why I got the nomination. Do you know how long it's running for?
Vanya is, I think, only a couple more weeks.
Damn.
Like appropriate.
You would recommend it?
Yeah, especially if you haven't had a chance to see Uncle Vanya. Like it is a classic for a reason. I think they're able to make it feel modern in some interesting ways in this production. And it's a really beautifully staged production as well. They do this really interesting thing where they kind of play some music on stage that kind of serves as like a score almost. It's really well done.
Okay. I'm just going to spitfire some other ones that I know had been discussed. There is a Notebook adaptation.
Yeah.
Does that intrigue you?
I mean, not hugely. Again, like I'm kind of hit or miss on these like adaptations of movies back to the stage. If I hear some good things, I'll check it out. But I usually don't rush out to those ones. The ones that I'm hoping I'll have time to catch for. It's Mother Play that you're highlighting there, starring Jessica Lange. Dude. Very curious about that one. Obviously, Jessica Lange is a legend. The other one that I'm also really interested in is Patriots, the one that stars Michael Stuhlbarg as a young Vladimir Putin.
Okay. How long is that running for?
All these ones, I think, are wrapping up in July, unfortunately.
Damn it. What the hell?
Yeah, man.
It's like the opposite of the Oscars where they're not out yet and they're winning awards. Here they're winning awards and they're done.
Exactly.
Man. Okay.
But as you mentioned, a lot of these, even if it isn't the like really official looking filmed production, they do have that kind of like back of the auditorium camera filming. And as I mentioned, the New York Public Library usually has access to those. So
I
don't know, get yourself a library card.
I'll borrow yours. I'll go in there with you.
Yeah.
We'll just spend a whole day not watching movies for wherever and go in there.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to go through the rest of them. You had mentioned Enemy for the People, Grey House, Water for Elephants. Never cared for the movie, but that is now a play.
Yeah. I've heard it's better on the stage than it was in the movie.
That's good. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm curious overall, though, if we have any other Intercuties, be it in New York, be it on the West End that I know has got a couple of really good ones out right now at the moment as well. What your favorite on Broadway on stage production is at the moment, be it a musical, be it a play, all that good stuff.
Definitely.
What your favorite performance was out of the Tonys as well. Yeah, let us know your thoughts down below as we wrap up this Intercut Broadway section for the 77th Annual Tony Awards.
Yeah.